The Disappearing 17th Floor ***, Chapter 1. The residual warmth at 2 a.m. Liang Jiu sat at his workstation, his eyes webbed with fine red veins. The cold blue glow from the computer screen was like a slow-acting corrosive agent, peeling away his sanity bit by bit. This was his 14th consecutive day of overtime. In this corporate campus nicknamed the Cyber Cemetery, night never truly fell. Around him, the unceasing clatter of mechanical keyboards sounded like a swarm of beetles gnawing at wood. Liang Jiu, you're still here. It was Su Qing speaking. She was the only splash of brightness in the team, and the only person Liang Jiu felt attached to in this jungle of steel. She handed him a can of warm coffee. When her fingertips brushed the icy back of his hand, she recoiled slightly. Almost done. Just a few more bugs, Liang Jiu said hoarsely, without lifting his head. Don't push yourself so hard. Lately your complexion, it's as pale as paper. Su Qing sighed. She seemed to want to say more, but finally only added softly, remember to turn off the lights when you leave. At 2:14 a.m., Liang Jiu finally shut his laptop. The entire floor was empty except for him. The motion sensor lights went out one by one behind him. Darkness chased after him like a rising tide. Dragging his leaden legs, he walked toward the elevator lobby. The office building had 16 floors. Liang Jiu pressed the down button. The elevator on the left slid open slowly, emitting a dry metallic grinding sound. Liang Jiu stepped inside, habitually staring at the illuminated number 1. That was when something unusual caught his eye at the top of the panel. Above the number 16, where there should have been a smooth stainless steel plate, there was now a rusty button. It bore the number 17. Liang Jiu froze. He had worked in this building for 3 years and had never seen that button before. A flicker of alcohol lamp hallucination crossed his mind. A hidden floor. Or, as if possessed, he reached out and pressed the cold button. The elevator did not descend. Instead, it shook violently and began to rise with a dull rumble. Chapter 2. The non-existent double dinged the moment the elevator doors opened. A smell of old newspapers mixed with burnt plastic rushed toward him. Liang Jiu stepped out. It was indeed the 17th floor. The layout was identical to the 16th. Yet the details were eerily unsettling. Yellowed newspapers covered the walls. Their headlines dated 1996. Old-fashioned fluorescent tube lights hung from the ceiling, crackling faintly. What chilled him to the bone was that every workstation was occupied. They wore grey or blue, Zhongshan suits common in the 1990s. Their backs were stiffly straight, fingers flying across bulky, yellowed desktop keyboards. There was no sound of breathing, no conversation. Passing a desk, Liang Jiu glimpsed a man's profile. His skin an unnatural lead grey. His eyes fixed lifelessly in their sockets. Only his fingers moved mechanically, repeating the same action. In a corner, Liang Jiu stopped before a desk with a photo frame. He picked it up and began trembling violently. The photo showed a young man holding a toddler. The man looked exactly like him. It was his father, who had disappeared 20 years ago. He's working for you. A hoarse voice sounded behind him. Liang Jiu spun around. Old Chen, the security guard, was standing by the elevator. He held an unlit pipe, his cloudy eyes filled with pity. This isn't a place you're meant to be. Old Chen interrupted in a voice low, as if rising from underground. Here, time doesn't flow. They are all people who were left behind. Left behind? Those who died in this building, if they carry resentment, are kept here to continue working overtime. Liang Jiu, go back before you become one of them. The elevator doors opened again. Old Chen shoved Liang Jiu inside. A wave of weightlessness hit him. When he opened his eyes, he was lying on the wooden floor of his rented apartment, clutching a yellow employee badge. It read, Employee No. 017. Chapter 3. The seeping truth. Over the next few days, cracks began to appear in reality. Liang Jiu's work became unbelievably smooth. Complex algorithms completed themselves overnight. The coding style was archaic, yet astonishingly efficient. Liang Jiu, your efficiency is terrifying lately. The boss says you'll be promoted to chief architect next month, Su Qing said, worry clouding her eyes. But I feel like you're becoming less and less like yourself. What do you mean? Your movements, your tone, even the way you walk. Last night when I looked back at you, your silhouette sitting there looked like a statue. He didn't dare tell her about the 17th floor until he noticed that the employee badge emitted a faint green glow at night. That evening, he dreamed he was sitting at a workstation on the 17th floor, writing code in front of his father's photograph, while another Liang Jiu lived his life in the real world, holding Su Qing's hand, celebrating promotions. He woke to find thick calluses on his fingertips, the marks of pounding an old keyboard for years. Terrified, he rushed to the company and pressed 17 again. This time, the elevator opened not onto the 1990s office, but onto the 16th floor of the future. There he saw Su Qing in a white lab coat, speaking to rows of transparent tanks. Inside each tank floated countless Liang Jiu clones. Sample 017's consciousness is stabilizing, Su Qing said coldly. Proceed to the next phase of stress testing. Erase his father memory trigger. Implant career promotion reward mechanism. Liang Jiu felt struck by lightning. If this was neither past nor future, then what was it? Chapter 4. The wind on the terrace. Liang Jiu. Come back. A shrill cry tore through the darkness. The scenery warped and overlapped. He wasn't in an elevator at all. He was standing on the outer edge of the rooftop railing on the 16th floor. Wind whipped his hair. Below was a 100-meter drop. Neon lights flickering like drifting fireflies. Su Qing stood meters away, crying. 2 police officers approached slowly. You haven't slept for 4 days, she shouted. The doctor says you're suffering from severe stress-induced psychosis. There is no 17th floor. He opened his palm. There was no badge, only crushed cold medicine tablets for insomnia. Old Chen retired 2 years ago. A police officer shouted. Fragments flooded his mind. Overtime. Endless code. His father leaving. Su Qing's concern. Was it all a delirious script written by an exhausted brain? Just as he reached toward the officers, he glanced down. Through the ceiling beneath his feet, faint light shone. Beneath the 16th floor, he saw another version of himself sitting at a workstation. That other self slowly turned and smiled at him. Liang Jiu fell. Chapter 5. The end of the loop. Liang Jiu was discharged from the sanatorium on a sunny day. He resigned from his job, planning to search for clues about his father. Everything seemed normal. He entered the elevator one last time. No, 17 button. But as the elevator slowed between floors, the mirror distorted briefly. In that fraction of a second, he saw himself wearing a pale green badge. He looked down, nothing there. In the mirror, the other, him, did not move. It pointed toward the panel. The display flickered. 16, 15, 14. Then instead of 13, it turned blood red. The doors opened. Endless rows of workstations. Countless people in Zhongshan suits turned in unison. One seat was empty. His fingers were turning grey. He sat down. He began typing. It was his only mission. Epilogue. The next morning, Su Qing received a call from HR. Liang Jiu had entered the elevator the night before but never exited on any floor. In the empty office, his computer suddenly lit up. Ancient lines of code scrolled wildly. Finally, a message appeared. Employee No. 017. Onboarding completed.